Alright, so we are up here for the 1v1 finals of our Hearthstone tournament. I am here with
Fernando
and Dylan.
Yes, and they are here to help me out with this Hearthstone finals because I don't play Hearthstone at all. So what can you tell me about Hearthstone? About the game as a whole?
It's a children's card game that some people take too seriously.
It's sort of, I would say it's a style sort of like Magic the Gathering, but it's made very simple. It's got a very basic sort of UI that I think attracts a lot of people to card games because it feels a bit like easier than getting into something like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic or Duel Masters or whatever card game exists right at the moment.
Especially since those games usually, they're physical, you gotta pay for it.
That's right.
Hearthstone likes to market itself as free to play. That's...
Obviously a lot of people do end up spending a lot of money on the game anyway.
Like myself.
Yeah.
Did you guys introduce yourselves?
Yeah, we did.
Alright, so just to update everyone, Tommy's leading 1-0 and the game is best of 5. So this is game number 2, Tommy up 1-0.
So the last match, it looked like Tommy was playing a Jade Druid deck. That's quite a controversial deck at the moment.
Ah, yes.
It's huge late game potential. It just
Anduin versus Jane.
Control decks and combo decks.
You asked for it.
The problem is if you can get an aggressive deck going, it's just going to completely stomp the entire thing.
That's right.
Druid doesn't have any hard removal and it will get completely wrecked by any form of pirate package.
That's right, 100%. So Tommy was lucky that he was playing against Massy's combo warlock deck. So because that deck was another slow deck, he was just able to build up some really big Jade Golems and before Massy could assemble his combo and burst him down.
Alright, so we are spectating Tommy on this game too.
So it looks like he's,
Tommy is running a Dragon Priest deck.
seems like quite a value-oriented deck. I actually played this exact same deck against Massy.
It is a very...
designed against beating the very value-driven decks.
And he got another Draconoid operative.
That's right, so Draconid OP, very good, very obvious sort of discovered choice from that.
Yes.
It's going to give him a lot of information about what deck Massy's playing.
Not only that, it's very good value, very good stats. I believe Ben Broders once mentioned that because entire decks are built around this card, it's got a particularly powerful stat line despite its very powerful deck.
It has to be extra strong.
It is just a very good card in general. And seeing it off that first turn Historian feels a bit unfair, to be honest.
Oh yeah, it's going to make a difference, hopefully.
Oh, it will make a difference, most definitely.
I can tell you that Massy's playing an aggro freeze mage deck. Aimed to burst down from 30 very quickly and easily.
I've played that deck before.
So I think even though
powerful.
Tommy looks like he's building up some strong dragon synergy and might have some big bodies on board, it might not be fast enough to beat the incoming damage. Especially looking at his hand right now. His looks like he doesn't have a very solid turn 3 or turn 4. This is his turn 3 play. His face rather than developing the ooze. So really that was a 1 mana turn 3. I don't think it's fast enough to beat aggro freeze. Okay, trade. I would have gone for the face there, I think. Just wanted to deny any board. I guess worried about the and he was right. He did a good board there, set up quite a strong turn 4, setting up 2 very well statted minions.
Okay, I have a question about the game. So, from the state, if you look at the board right now, is Tommy, does he have a huge lead? Because he has like a better board.
No.
I would say that it depends. Because
He definitely has an advantage, but keep in mind that the deck
that's a very good discussion as well.
the deck that's currently the mage is currently playing is aggro freeze mage.
And that sort of ignores the board, whereas the majority of Hearthstone games are completely decided by the board. So if so Tommy's board here is a very strong board. If he was against pretty much any other deck, he would be in a win. It's a bit hard to evaluate against the Massy's mage.
Let's make magic.
See what's in his hand.
Oh,
And-
okay.
Because his deck is totally focused about ignoring the board and just going straight to the face.
What if we spectate him?
Oh, there you go. You can see his
Yeah,
hand
we can see his
now.
hand right now.
Oh, whoa.
So
Oh, I didn't know about that trick. I just clicked
I
yes.
didn't either.
Yeah.
Actually. I've been
I
playing
was
this
just
game
like-
for a long time and I didn't know that.
Yes, well, either way, this guy's already got his ice block up. You can see he's already loading his hand up with all sorts of...
Yeah, so if you see here, this is Fireball that does 7 damage.
Yeah, up one.
So those two, that's 12 damage already. This spell here prevents him from dying for 1 turn. So what he looks like he's doing is just trying to set up a lot of spells in his hand to just go straight to the face.
Okay.
But I think it's gotten to the point where Tommy's board is so big and threatening that he might be dead before he can do that.
Oh, so he doesn't
it
have
does
enough time.
look like Tommy does have the advantage, that's right.
It also depends on what he draws. If he can just draw into another ice block, he's gonna have
That's
himself
right,
another
and
few
if he-
turns of
If he
stall.
can get himself Frost Nova or something like that.
Frost Nova, maybe even Cold Light Oracle. I don't know if this guy runs it.
Oh yeah, he just popped it down before, and I think
Oh.
that actually worked against him because it gave Tommy Ragnaros Fireball, some really strong spells.
Rag's definitely gonna close out the game very quickly, even if he wipes out the board.
That's right.
So you can see he's
Setting up combos.
already starting to go. He's realized that he won't survive another turn.
So he
And-
has to start dumping those spells because he won't be able to do a big
And-
combo with them.
Just because he is using a few RNG based, he's relying on Flame Waker. So
The board fairly well.
it's definitely not an optimal play, but it's what he had to do in that moment.
Why did the rope come out?
He's taking too long.
Ooh, which one?
Except that this is actually a spectator bug. No one's taking too long
it's a
right now.
spectator bag.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, so you get some really and some really strong discovery choices.
Discovery.
So at this moment, Tommy is...
Yes, he definitely is. He doesn't have enough damage to burst them down right now.
But
If you guys are curious, this is what the guys are commentating from.
Hello.
hello.
They're
We're
doing
still
the
doing
finals.
I'm doing it right now too.
He's not actually spectating.
Yeah, we
Oh.
were the ones that lost in the early rounds. So
Yes, that's why we're
here
worthy of
That's
spectating.
right, we're here to talk about what players better than us are doing.
I wonder.
Yes. Can we spin the camera back now?
For vengeance.
This guy knows his Osu.
Yeah, so the freeze novas come out. So see, the spell he just cast throws all of Tommy's minions.
So they can't attack.
Yes, he's definitely stalling for time. The problem is Ragnaros does not need to attack.
Just shoot.
This guy just...
Lucky that it's the weaker minion there. Oh, it looks like he's got quite a few options here.
There is still hope.
Yeah,
There is still
if
hope,
he goes for the
because-
double fireball, he'll get Tommy down to about 10.
which he can immediately destroy him next turn. And as you can see, normally something like this would line up a perfect kill, but Ice Block is just going to completely deny that. He is going to survive
So
another
that
turn,
gives him
and he
at
is...
least one more turn. But unfortunately, he doesn't have enough mana.
So he needs to draw something.
He would need to draw another ice block. That's all the ways. So if he draws ice block now, he will and so see,
And as you can see,
now Tommy knows that ice block is his hand, so he knows he's one. Oh wow!
oh, whoa, look at that, look at
top
that. Top. Yeah, they can. But that is a beautiful top deck. It's going to save the
So-
game.
Oh, actually no, it's
He has the heal. Oh, wait.
yeah, that's
Okay,
game
so
over.
as you can see, this
So
is
Massy got
why...
some incredible ones there because see, he'll only be able to heal himself back up to 10 in the spell Massy's had.
So that was a clutch.
So that
So
was
this-
incredibly clutch.
This is incredibly
But
clutch.
Actually, he had discovered Ice Block, so now he's out of range as well.
So basically, everything that has happened is a perfect summation of why people believe
played.
Hearthstone is too random to be a competitive game.
Well played.
There
So
is
who won?
It looks like
Tommy has definitely won.
Tommy managed to copy that ice block.
Unfortunately,
So that was that's something that's completely out of the player's control there, as you can see. But still played out very well. Massy made the sure he had to rely on drawing that exact card, but he set himself up in a position.
no, don't leave it.
If he did.
I meant leave the mouse, not leave the game. Sorry, that was actually very poorly worded on mine. But yes,
Wait for their next game. So Tommy's up 2-0.
2-0.
and there was very good luck from both sides, basically. Top decking ice block
But they both did
and discovering ice block.
They both did the good plays there.
Yes. And then Flamewaker hitting face for perfect lethal if it weren't for the
If it
ice
weren't
block.
for that
If it weren't for the ice
discovered
block.
Exactly. So both players, I think, were playing as best as they could with what they had and setting themselves
Yes.
both up to win.
I agree. They both played well.
But it just came down to who got the best luck in the end.
What's his name? Massy.
And
No, don't click anything.
it's interesting to
Okay,
see
okay.
because Massy's brought some very homemade decks. They're not your typical
Meta deck.
meta decks, which I had been playing with and which Tommy had been playing with and is playing with, and it's just come down to a lucky draws in some stages.
Right, so here we can see we've got the aggro freeze mage again.
Versus
Going along
what
with
appears to be an aggro shaman.
aggro shaman with a jade package, yes.
That's right. So aggro shaman with the jade package is without a doubt the strongest deck in the game. At the
Perhaps
moment.
not the strongest, but definitely the most dominant.
Well, that's true. Maybe it doesn't have the highest win rate, but it is possibly the most common deck, and it is one of those decks that you have to prepare for.
Yes.
Because, it just really preys on unoptimized decks, just because it has so many ways to refill the board, clear the board, and has a lot of burst damage as well.
Yes. I believe on ladder, as of the last patch, a new patch hit recently, nerfing the pirate package, which has been used in so many aggro decks.
Until then,
Until then,
60%.
yes,
of,
60% ladder.
competitive ladder. Exactly.
And I believe, yes, they have just completely dominated the scene with their very high value cards, very...
And then the other thing I think that needs to be said is that it is a deck that, obviously, the better you are at the game, the more skilled you are, the better you will do. But it has quite a low skill ceiling, so a lot of new players can actually find success with
It is also very cheap. It doesn't feature any particular legendaries that
That's
are
right.
essential, apart from perhaps Thalnos Blood Mage
or patches.
or patches.
But even then, both of those cards are they enhance the deck. But you can
Yes.
find cheap substitutes that obviously aren't good, but would still be passable. Okay substitute.
Okay, substitute, yes.
Obviously, it loses the utility of it, but it activates Spirit Claws. But due to the nerf, I feel like that.
Yes, I don't believe Tommy is running the power package in this deck.
That's see at this stage. I think he's focusing more on using Jades and some extra burst spells as a way to.
I have noticed he is. I have noticed he is running 2 4-mana 7/7s, which is not exactly very common, to be honest. Most aggro shaman decks find that even such a powerful value card is actually too slow.
Well, that's the thing, because it doesn't do anything to the board immediately, and as much as people say how overpowered it is and how the Overlord isn't a drawback, it actually kind of is, because it's very vulnerable to being removed from the board. So see, even though this you would be an opportunity to send out the 4-mana 7/7, Tommy's actually instead preferring to remove the Flamewaker because card. If he had, say, for example, summoned the Flame Wreath Faceless here, as you can
Let's
see, Tommy
make
has
magic.
a Fireball. He would have been able to Fireball it and hope that the 50-50 knocks it out from Flamewaker. That would have decided the game, basically. So I think Tommy's been quite wise to avoid that and instead challenge and remove Massy's.
What were his discover choices for the hero power? I don't think I was
It
paying
was
attention
the
at that
druid,
point.
it was the heal, and it was the rose. I think he realizes that of course Massy is playing first deck. He's going to focus on healing his face as much as possible.
Yes, I suppose.
I think he's willing to make it a slower game, even though aggro shaman is usually closing out games as fast as possible. He realizes that that's the kind of strategy that his opponent's deck is actually instead going to try and focus on.
Indeed. Something I suppose interested in seeing was whether he'd try to speed up the game as much as possible and hope he doesn't draw Ice Block, or perhaps just make it a nice long game, play around Ice Block, and just, I suppose, force him to consume his spells in order to prevent
exactly.
lethal.
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's trying to bait Massy into using his strong removal spells on his minions while healing his face. Because the thing about aggro freeze mage is that it does have a maximum damage it can do.
It will run out of spells eventually, and that is the key problem here.
That's what it looks like is going to happen at this stage.
I serve the Fire Lord.
Flame Wake is one of those sad to see the end.
Not something I'll miss.
Even though Mage is not the most powerful deck right now, it's just such an annoying card that whenever Mage is doing well, it's just incredibly frustrating to play.
It's got a wonderful combination of being very helpful and also being completely RNG based. Two combinations that nobody likes.
And it has quite a difficult stat line to remove as well. It's not a card that can easily be removed on turn 3 by most classes. Now with the pirate package and with shamans being a bit stronger, I think that's less true now, but certainly before standard hit or in Wrath of the Old Gods expansion, it was a very hard card to
Whispers of the Old Gods.
Whispers of the Old Gods, that's it.
Alright,
So I think this is actually the checkmate
yes.
at this stage because Massy's having to use his key burn spells against very low but because of this
Yes, the spells that I suppose that are basically essential for winning the game have basically been
all been
used up. He basically has no hope of winning right now, to be honest. I don't see any way he could win.
Tommy does not have a very big hand, so he does not have the value advantage on the stage. He is setting up some Jade creatures, but they're both basically getting into top deck mode, and that's something that's obviously quite weighted towards Tommy's favour just because of...
I suppose it depends on how many more Jade cards he draws right now.
That's true.
Every
so he's
Jade
used
Golem...
up both his claws and both his
Lightnings.
so he will be relying on maybe higher Black Claw.
We are here for vengeance.
Depends on if he's running that. I don't even know if that's
That's
in the
true,
deck.
it might not be. It's a bit hard to speculate, we don't have the full list. So he was drawing...
So he did have the pirate package, but it didn't
That's
even
quite
show up
that
until
is
one.
quite an unfortunate draw. He doesn't...
I'm in charge now.
It can remove.
It is going to chip in some phase damage, which is going to be useful. That's definitely something good because it can face the other
card.
which is very important on the stage.
Yes, he's probably desperately searching his deck for, digging through his deck for all the spells he can find right now. Ice Block has finally come out after a very long game.
And setting up that Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's a minion on board, but unfortunately it is just going to get removed immediately.
So
Will it?
unfortunately, he doesn't have a big hand, he doesn't have the burst damage. I think Tommy's going to be able to out-heal all the damage he can do at this point. Although Cold Light...
That Cold Light Oracle is quite...
It's definitely going to...
definitely backfire. It has given Tommy some more juice, which was really what he needed at this stage.
I think
Golden Torch.
I think drawing that.
Let's look at so unfortunately, even if it got into fatigue, that would be against I think that's the checkmate over there.
Yes, the game is basically over.
Boards removed, set up 2 strong minions, quite a lucky choice.
I wouldn't
from
call
the,
Stone Tusk Ball strong.
Well, but it does guarantee just some extra chip damage. So
I'll be honest, looking at his
the way in which
yes.
The hand was set, because of the spell power, he would have only been able to get him down to exactly 0, which would have given him an ice block of say 6. Whereas that Stone Tusk allows him to chip into the number that he prefers. Now, unfortunately, the reality is the difference in color totals means that Tommy will manage to lose the board completely. Massy will be taking that fatigue damage, which will go through his ice block.
It does indeed go through the ice block.
The end is coming!
He does have the ability to remove this.
So you see he has exactly 9 damage now due to that Stone
Yes.
Tusk Ball. That ice block is popped. He doesn't currently have any other things in his hand, but it's not unrealistic to think that he will go into it. We haven't seen the other rolled yet. The other button and that is a good game basically.
Yes. I suppose
It's
we'll be
unfortunate he
waiting.
hadn't drawn patches because of course
As a
it
dragon
is just delaying the
Yes. Unfortunately, there is no way for Massy to win right now. He is going to keep holding on though. Drawing up.
I mean, what else can you do in that position? Just concede.
That's very dishonorable. But I admire this person.
If he can't, he'll take it. I think at this stage, I would have even gotten him an origin. Oh, Alex Straza, that's interesting, but alas, still not enough.
Yes, it's probably.
If he can survive this turn, he might be able to slightly better position, but I still think it is just delaying the inevitable. Because the fact that just looking at Tommy's hand, he is able to...
Unfortunately, he hasn't.
and
He isn't able to.
we haven't seen the best Flame Strike.
I don't think
But
so.
I don't
Flame
think
Strike
it
isn't
would
really
be.
run by the aggro variants of
That's
Priest
right.
Mage. And they also don't run Forestland either, which would have at least been able to help him pull off an Alexstrasza and Ice Block combo.
That's right. So alas, if we look, he only has 2 cards left in the stack. One of those is Ice Block.
Very positive.
That's game.
Yes, well played, he knows the game's
So
over.
Tommy's taken the victory with a 3-0.
Absolutely brutal. And the
Goes
face
for the BM into getting destroyed by a one-man.
What a way indeed. Well, I suppose I'll be finishing up our tournament here. And
Thanks
we,
for everyone listening.
yes, all 8 of you, we appreciate your audience. We need a few PogChamps in the chat.
All right, that was the Hearthstone tourney with Tommy winning 3-0. We will cut to some songs and we'll be back for a bit of Overwatch. Just stick with us. You're here on Mega LAN.